Hey, this is Matthias with the Fall 2019 EFWA team. In this video, I'm going to talk about the current status of the EFRT-1823 user story. On our side, this user story is basically completed, but I think this is probably the first thing that you're going to want to make sure is completely finished. So you guys on EFWA are going to want to communicate with the EFWE team to get this done. It might take 1 or 2 sprints for all of you to start to get the gist of the project, so this might not be an immediate thing, but when you finally get to the point where you can start integrating, then this will be the first thing you want to tackle. But as I said, our part is basically done. I'll walk through it in a bit. But you want to talk to EFWE and make sure that they know about this user story on their side of the project. Effort 1726. All right. So they want to finish this off because this is not completed. This was started in the summer semester, and the spring, the fall students on EFWE didn't get a chance to finish it. So yeah, you want to make EFWE team aware of 1726. I'll link to these in the description as well. And you also want them to be aware of one more. Let me see. Of this one, of 1727. All right. So the master expert is the expert advisor that publishers on EFRT would be running, and every time a publisher makes a trade, sells or buys or does anything, the master expert would catch that trade, and it would send a publish request to our publish API in the web API, and then our web API would send a request to the VPS web API with all the information of that trade, and that information would be transferred into the monkey expert running on behalf of a publisher, of a subscriber that's subscribed to that publisher, and the trade would be mimicked. Now, if I did a terrible job of explaining that, which I definitely did, just reach out to me and I'll explain it. I'd much rather have a conversation and talk to you than rely solely on these videos, because sometimes these videos are, I know the struggles of figuring this stuff out. Trust me, I've been in your shoes. You also might be way smarter than me, but I'm here, so just please reach out to me if you have any questions. But anyways, you just want to make sure that the EFWE team knows to finish those 2 user stories. I will provide links to them, but let's go over the actual code relevant to what we accomplished this semester, so you understand what's going on. All right, so basically we have this publish controller right here. All right. So now the master expert that the EFWE team is going to be working on should send a request to this controller every time a publisher Forex account makes any trade. All right. Now this API function would capture that call. It would take the Forex login ID, and it would take from the body a JSON string. All right, and that JSON string would be converted into this mimic request class, which I made up here. Go into requests, mimic request. All right, so this is all the information that as of now we're capturing for each order. but you're gonna have to communicate with the EFWE team to make sure that all the information necessary is captured to be able to duplicate a transaction, because this might be missing something, or it might have something that's not necessary. That's going to take talking to Masood, talking to the EFWE team, going over everything that previous teams left behind and filling in those pieces. All right. All right, so now this controller is going to call the publish service, which is down here in the web API services, publish service. All right, so now this publish service takes that order info. It takes the Forex login ID. It gets the Forex account of the publisher. All right, and then it gets the actual user, the publisher user. All right, and if either of those don't return true, then it's going to spit out these error messages. Otherwise, we're going to go here. I just realized that this is redundant because order info is already a mimic request. So there's no need to set that here, but whatever. So what's happening here is we're making a list of all the subscribers to this publisher who placed the order. Now all the subscribers would have their Forex accounts duplicate the transaction. All right, so this is making a list of all the subscribers. Now for each subscriber in this list, we get the server of that subscriber, we get the terminal that subscriber is running on. All right, we get the path to the server data folder for that subscriber, and we get the terminal identifier. All right, and we set those in the mimic request. All right, here. Now this is all necessary information to be able to actually duplicate the transaction on the subscriber Forex accounts. All right, and then the request, the client would be set, and the request would be set. It would go to the subscriber server, which is either going to be VPS 0, VPS 1, or VPS 2. All right, and then it's going to go to the terminal /mimic API function. So let's go to the GitHub and I'll show you what that function is. So we're working on the EFRT Web App and API. EFWE is going to be working in this project. And for everything relating MetaTrader and Forex accounts, this VPS API is going to communicate between the MetaTrader and the website. So our publish function is receiving a request from the master expert, and then that request, and then the publish API would make its own request with the information that master expert sent to it, and it would send that information to the VPS API, to the terminal controller, to this mimic function. All right, so here we see terminal mimic. So that's what this is pointing to right here. All right, now this is catching that order information, and then it's passing that information to this rate mimic JSON, which is right here. All right, now this is for the EFWE team to worry about, so you don't have to you don't have to look into this too much unless you're curious. But our side, all we're doing is we're receiving the request from the master expert. We're making sure the correct information is being passed. It's being sent to the published service, and it's and all the relevant information for each subscriber is being captured, and then the request is being sent to the VPS for each subscriber. So right now, our job is mostly finished. All you need to do, like I said, is communicate with the EFWE team for them to finish their master expert and their monkey expert, so that this whole broad user story can be ultimately finished and function properly. The end goal of this would be so that whenever a publisher makes a trade, all of the subscribing Forex accounts would successfully mimic that trade. All right, if you have any questions, reach out to me, and I will do my best to be there and help you out.